Dr. Gyan?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Respected Director, Sir, Joint Director Education, Joint Director Research, today's eminent speaker, Dr. Srinivasan, Sir, and all the distinguished invitees and scientists. A very good morning to one and all. Today, on the occasion of Bhartiya Bhasha Divas, I, Gyan Mishra, heartily welcome you all in this program. The National Education Policy 2020 encourages multilingualism, and under the Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat initiative, Bhartiya Bhasha Utsav was conceptualized to instill pride in the Indian languages among the students. Today, on the occasion of birth centenary anniversary of a great multilingual poet and freedom fighter, C. Subramaniam Bharti ji, this day is being celebrated as Bhartiya Bhasha Divas. इस कार्यक्रम की शुरुआत हम विद्या एवं कला की देवी मां सरस्वती जी की वंदना से करेंगे. डॉक्टर बर्मन सर. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Dr. Dean and Joint Director Education, IRI, Dr. Anupma Singh ma'am for her welcome address. Ma'am, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gyan. At the outset, I, on behalf of the entire PG school and on behalf of IRI, I accord a very warm welcome to all who have assembled here to commemorate the Bhartiya Bhasha Utsav today, which is the initiative, as Dr. Gyan just now briefed, of the central government to facilitate multilingualism and the rich diversity of the country. So, in that context, I welcome the speaker of today, Dr. Srinivasanji, our Honorable Director, Dr. A.K. Singhji, all the dignitaries and the faculty, the students, and our progressive farmers, and the audience from within IRI, outside IRI, who have assembled here and who are joining also. I can see the number which is growing, and Dr. Subhash Chandraji, Director NCIPM, who have joined today to commemorate this Utsav even on Sunday. So thank you very much to all of you. So this day today, this Utsav today, as Dr. Gyan has briefed, in honor of the great speaker, the great, we would say, historian of languages, that this day is being commemorated. So, honoring that, as per approval of our director, we are celebrating this in various ways. One is this particular lecture event, and then we started my language, my signature campaign, which I am informed that it's a stupendous success, and people from across the IRI campus have taken the initiative to sign in their languages of preference. So that also will be uploaded on the website. Then another contest which our MOHR has taken the initiative to get it organized by PGSSU, that is also there, and that is on the polyglot contest. So about which I would request Dr. Sirohi towards the concluding part of the session to announce the winners of this contest. So these are all day-long events that we have organized, and they are going on parallelly. So without taking much time, I once again welcome all who have assembled here, and I now request Dr. Gyan to further take on. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for briefing out the various activities which are going on in IRI. Now, I like to request Dr. A.K. Singh, sir, Director IRI, to introduce our special speaker for the today's function, Dr. Srinivasan, former Director, National Institute of Plant Biotechnology, New Delhi, to the audience. Sir.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद ज्ञान। ये मेरे लिए परम सौभाग्य की बात है कि मुझे अपने एक परम मित्र कहें तो अनुचित नहीं होगा, क्योंकि हम लोग जब भी मिलते हैं तो हमेशा मित्र भाव से मिलते हैं। और डॉक्टर श्रीनिवासन एक ऐसे व्यक्ति हैं, इनका व्यक्तित्व ऐसा है जो किसी को बिना प्रभावित किए नहीं रहते हैं। सबसे पहले मैं इनके संपर्क में आया था, एक NRCPV में ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम था, उसको मैंने ज्वाइन किया था और इन्होंने कुछ क्लासेज ली थी उसमें और प्रैक्टिकल कराए थे। तो इनकी पढ़ाने में जो रुचि थी और जो सरलता थी, कठिन से कठिन विषय को बिल्कुल आसान भाषा में समझाना, वो मुझे बहुत अच्छी लगी। और उस समय इन्होंने एग्रोबैक्टीरियम किस प्रकार से इन्फेक्शन करता है, उसके क्या क्या कंपोनेंट होते हैं, जितनी अच्छी तरह से समझाया था, वो कोई किताब पढ़ करके हमको उस तरह से समझ में नहीं आया। आज भी वो चीजें हमारे मानस पटल पर अंकित हैं। डॉक्टर श्रीनिवासन ने काशी हिंदू विश्वविद्यालय से केमिस्ट्री में अपना अध्ययन किया था और बनारस इनके रग रग में बसा हुआ है। इनको हम ठेठ बनारसी कहते हैं। बनारस के बारे में बनारसी लोग जितना नहीं जानते होंगे, उससे ज्यादा जानकारी डॉक्टर श्रीनिवासन को है। चाहे वो काशी चाट भंडार का हो, चाहे वो केशव पान भंडार की जगह हो, या और कहाँ पे बढ़िया चूड़ा मटर मिलता है। तो इतना एक्सप्लोरेटरी नेचर इनका रहा है, जहाँ भी रहते हैं अपने इर्द गिर्द आसपास क्या हो रहा है उसके बारे में जानकारी रखना। और भाषा की बात करें तो भाषा में इनको तमिल तो आती ही है, हिंदी, कन्नड़, तेलुगु भी थोड़ा बहुत बोलते हैं, और उसके साथ साथ जो है भोजपुरी में जो इनकी कमांड है, वो कोई भोजपुरी बोलने वाला उस क्षेत्र में पैदा हुआ आदमी भी इनकी टक्कर नहीं दे सकता है। तो जब ये बोलते हैं भोजपुरी तो बिल्कुल नहीं लगता है कि ये इनका जो इनकी रूट जो है तमिलनाडु में हो सकती है, कोई सोच भी नहीं सकता है। और ये इसलिए हुआ है कि इन्होंने इसका प्रयास किया, आसपास जो चीजें होती थी उसको देखते रहे, वैज्ञानिक के रूप में इन्होंने इतना अच्छा काम किया। चिकपी में जेनेटिक ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन और खासकर हेलियोथिस के रेसिस्टेंस के लिए बहुत लंबे समय तक इस विषय पर इन्होंने काम किया। बहुत कठिन विषय था चिकपी का ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन करना। अध्यापक के रूप में बहुत महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाई। और अभी भी जब भी कोई कार्यक्रम होता है, और अभी जो हमारी बायोकेमिस्ट्री डिवीजन में सोसाइटी है बायोटेक्नोलॉजी एंड प्लांट बायोकेमिस्ट्री की, उसमें भी अपना संपादन के रूप में काफी महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाते रहते हैं। जब भी हम लोग जरूरत होती है, हम लोग बिना संकोच के इनसे संपर्क करते हैं। और जब ये बात आई इस बार, तो मुझे बहुत खुशी हुई। मुझे शायद अनिल का ये सुझाव था तो कि डॉक्टर श्रीनिवासन से अच्छा बेहतर व्यक्ति कोई इस अवसर पर नहीं हो सकता है, जो कि खुद मल्टीलिंगुअल हैं और कई भाषाओं की जानकारी रखते हैं। तो उनको इस अवसर पर बुलाया जाए, बहुत अच्छा रहेगा। मुझे बहुत खुशी हो रही है। मैं सभी साथियों का हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूं, और साथ ही डॉक्टर श्रीनिवासन का भी हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूं। यह दिन बहुत महत्वपूर्ण दिन है, जैसा कि बताया गया, ज्ञान ने बताया कि आज हम डॉक्टर सुब्रमण्यम भारती, जो कि तमिल पोएट थे और उन्होंने हिंदी में बहुत सारी कविताएं लिखी हैं। अगर उनकी लिस्ट देखें हिंदी में उनकी कविताओं की, तो ये भारत देश हमारा, वंदे मातरम, आज़ादी का एक पल्लू, और पल्लू एक वहाँ पर ट्राइब थी जिसके जब स्वतंत्र होने के बाद उस पर कविता लिखी थी उन्होंने। निर्भय मधुर तमिल की भूमि हमारी, भारत माँ की अनमोल ध्वजा, जा जर्जरित भारत जा, आ नव भारत तू आ। इस तरह से बहुत सारी कविताएं हैं, और इनसे बहुत सारी कविताएं हम लोग जब अपने पाठ्यक्रमों में हाई स्कूल और इंटरमीडिएट में हिंदी पढ़ते थे, उस समय ये चीजें पढ़ाई जाती थी। तो बड़ा ही मतलब आप ये देख सकते हैं कि किस प्रकार से भाषा हमको जोड़ने का प्रयास करती। भाषा कभी तोड़ती नहीं, भाषा हमेशा जोड़ती है हम लोगों को एक दूसरे से। और मैं इस अवसर पर आप सभी लोगों का एक बार पुनः स्वागत करता हूं, और विशेष रूप से डॉक्टर श्रीनिवासन का, जिन्होंने हम लोगों का अनुरोध स्वीकार किया और हमारे बीच में हैं। हम लोग उनको अब सुनना चाहेंगे। डॉक्टर साहब, ओवर टू यू।
धन्यवाद अशोक जी। आप सभी को भारतीय भाषा दिवस की बधाई। और is the screen visible?
Yes, sir. You can make it slide so it is visible, sir.
And okay, let me go back. I made a mistake of the video and audio would be visible now. Audible.
Yes, sir. It is audible. Sir. Slides are also visible, but only it is in the normal mode. You can make it presentation. Yes, sir.
Is this okay now?
Yes, sir. Fine,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. I have been asked to talk on this occasion, and I did not know what to say. The Indian subcontinent is blessed with large number of languages. Any idea how many languages are there? Any guesses from somebody? India, how many languages people say are their mother tongue? Any guess from anybody? An upper limit, 1,000.
Well, I have read 7,100.
Yeah, 700 plus, which is the
700 plus. Okay. So some of them you already know. There was a census conducted in 2011, and people were asked to name their mother tongue. And you'd be surprised to know the number which came out. That was something like 19,600 languages people listed as their mother tongue. That's really amazing. So 20,000 about languages. Now, how do you reconcile to this fact? Ethnologues, experts say there are 448 languages. There is one People's Linguistic Survey of India, which says 780 languages. And as I said, the Indian census said 19,569 languages. And out of this, then there were some culled out 1369 mother tongues, 121, because people call their languages by different names and there are a lot of similarities between them. So finally, about 121 languages, which include languages which are spoken by more than 10,000 speakers, was finally made a list of. Out of these 121, about, let us say Hindi alone, if you look at Hindi belt, nobody speaks Hindi per se. खड़ी बोली जो हम बोलते हैं वो बहुत कम लोग बोलते हैं. अवधी है, भोजपुरी है, कुमाऊनी है, people call Maithili है. So there are different dialects, versions, each quite different from the other. Their syntax, everything is different, but still they were all clubbed together as Hindi. So this has happened with all other languages, which we now call in their scheduled languages about 22. 2 official languages, which we call as Raj Bhasha, Hindi and English, and 22 national languages. The list is provided here. And they have been divided into 4 or 5 groups, mainly 2 Indo-Aryan and Dravidian. Those of you who want to know more information about languages and their origin, please, I have taken this information from a site called Lang Focus. The link is given here. So जो interested हैं वो कृपया वहाँ जाएं और इसे देखें. It's very interesting. Now, having said this, if I have to talk in about an hour about these languages, what do I do? I have been thinking about the ये सिरोही जी और अशोक जी. अब मैं इसका क्या करूं? जब आपने ये मुझे सौंपा तो मेरी समझ में नहीं आया कि मैं इसका करूं क्या. What do I do? How do I present? एक लैंग्वेज ही मैं ले लूं तो उस पर कई घंटे बात हो सकती है. There are enormous number of literature, art, culture in each language, which each one is proud of, and rightly so. So what do I do? So what I thought I would do is, why should one know about any language, any other language other than their mother tongue? One is curiosity, as Dr. Ashok ने बताया कि interested है, curious है कि भाई. और दूसरा ये सवाल जो बहुत फेमस है कि तुम्हारे पास क्या है, या तुम्हारी मातृभाषा में ऐसा क्या है जो हमारी मातृभाषा में नहीं. तो एक तो इसका ये क्यूरियोसिटी है, बेसिकली क्यूरियोसिटी. दूसरा विजडम, नॉलेज, स्टोरीज. ईच वन हैज अ डिफरेंट डायमेंशन. किसी को लिटरेचर पसंद है, किसी को कहानियां पसंद है, कल्चर, इमोशंस, म्यूजिक, डांस, ड्रामा, सिनेमा. ये जो लिस्ट है टीवी सीरियल्स, ये एंडलेस है, जिसका मैं एग्जांपल आपको दूंगा. और कुछ रीजन है जैसे जॉब और कैरियर अपॉर्चुनिटीज, या आपके ऊपर कंपल्शन है कि तमिलनाडु का लड़का अगर यूपी में है तो उसे हिंदी पढ़नी पड़ेगी, या ये हिंदी स्पीकिंग रीजन से अगर आंध्रा में है तो उसे तेलुगु पढ़नी पड़ेगी. तो कुछ लोग कंपल्शन की वजह से ही पढ़ते हैं. तो ये कुछ रीजंस है. देयर आर एन नंबर. तो I have organized my talk answering in finding out, trying to find out answer to these questions. कि आप कोई लैंग्वेज क्यों सीखते हैं या क्यों जानना चाहते हैं, उसके ये भी रीजंस है. एक और बहुत बड़ा रीजन है. अच्छा, उसके पहले मैं एक एग्जांपल देना चाहूंगा. by chance I happened to get this book. It's available freely on the net. This is a collection of Tamil proverbs. The book is in the library of University of California, Los Angeles. उसका PDF version online में available है. Look at the date, 1897, and Tamil proverbs. Now, इसका forward जो है बहुत अच्छा लिखा हुआ है. जो इसको पढ़ना चाहे, मैं उसमें से थोड़ा सा एक पार्ट आपको दिखाना चाहूँ. why so much ado about nothing? He's answering a question कि somebody would ask कि भाई आप ये देखना क्यों चाहते हैं, मतलब क्यों जानना चाहते हैं, proverbs से क्या होगा? Why take so much of trouble about these proverbs? Imagine he is a Britisher who is come to India, and that too in Tamil Nadu, and he is collecting and understanding the proverb. What is good of it? Who cares for these obsolete childish things? This is thing like proverbs. He is looking at the proverbs. Perhaps some old grandmother, when telling stories to women and children inside the house, means uses them. So now he also, there is a big answer. I am just selected a part of it, which is very, by a good knowledge of Indian proverb, one is enabled as to feel the moral pulse of Indian people, and a sound insight into the proverbial literature of India is like getting a microphone by which one can look deeply into the recesses of the native heart. Nothing else can throw so much light on the daily practice of the Indians as do the proverbs. And this is true for all the other cultures. So look at this, even interest in proverbs gives you a wealth of information. He also talks of in this that he has collected a list of what we call as so-called obscene proverbs. And he also says that those are very informative and very effective in pointing out, criticizing sinful life, or putting the things into right perspective. He has not quoted them here. He does say the obscene one also, which often contain most striking truth. So what I'm trying to tell you is that a person who is not a native speaker comes from England and looks at, so this is the answering curious. He was curious to know, and also by that he would getting information about the society, wealth of information, wisdom, and so on and so forth. So that's one. So this is he has collected about 3,644, and each one he is given an English meaning, what is their connotation, their relation to, let us say, a religious book or Upanishad, and so on and so forth. It's a wonderful treatise. Okay. Now, the other reason why people get interested or notice something unique about a language, in a language which is other than their mother tongue, is if someone other than the native speaker talks about it, and preferably if he's a foreigner or someone with influence or an eminence talks about it. In recent years, what has happened is that we have come to know about the languages other than our mother tongue from people who are of influence, foreigner mainly. Our Vedas were discovered by Germans, talked about by Germans. Upanishads, I'll quote in Sanskrit, even in Tamil. In recent years, what has happened is politicians, particularly head of the states or head of the government, particularly Modi ji, has been talking about languages, and in particular about a language which happens to be my mother tongue. So what I have done is I have taken examples of these to impress upon you that these are the people who influence your thought process. So somebody who is not a native speaker of that, he comes to know that there is something important, then he tries to find out more and more. That is how an interest is created. I'll give you an example. I'll give you examples of these. Now, the first line of a Tamil song or poem written about 3,000 years ago, the quote, Yadum Ure Yavarum Keli, you might have heard. This has been quoted number of times. APJ Abdul Kalam quoted this in his historical speech at European Parliament. And then later, Narendra Modi has quoted it in 74th session of UN Assembly and has quoted it several places. Is the video audible?
Sir, video is not audible. The audio is not coming. It is he is speaking, but it is not audible, sir.
Sir, while sharing, you should have shared with this optimized sound and video.
Okay, so what should I do? Should
Sir,
I
please
shut
please
down and go
unshare.
back again?
Yeah, please unshare and then reshare after clicking those two checkboxes.
Okay, stop share. Is it okay? Now the sharing has, so I say share screen.
Yes, sir. Share screen and then select that check
In the bottom,
PowerPoint.
it is there, sir. Share
And then
sounds.
optimize share sound and
Yes, sir.
optimize
Yes, sir.
video clip.
Yes, sir. And then share.
Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am indeed
Is it audible?
delighted to be with the honorable members of the European Parliament on the occasion of the Golden Jubilee year of the European Union. I am reminded of the dream of an Indian poet, Kaniyan Pungundranar, who articulated in 3000 years back in Tamil classic Purananur. He says, Yadum Ure Yavarun Kelir, which means, I am a world citizen. Every citizen is my own kith and kin, he said 3000 years back. As we say in India, where there is righteousness in the heart, where there is righteousness in the heart, there is beauty in the character. When there is beauty in the character, there is harmony in the home. When there is harmony in the home, there is harmony, there is an order in the nation. When there is order in the nation, there is peace in the world.
Mr. President Abdul Kalam, in the name of the European Parliament, I want to thank you for this important and inspiring speech. This was one of the most extraordinary speeches we have ever heard. From a statesman, scientist and poet, this is unique. All the best to this great nation, India. All the best to our cooperation between the great nation, India, and the European Union. All the best, Mr. President.
This was also quoted by Modi ji in the 74th session of the UN
अध्यक्ष
Assembly.
महोदय, आज से 3000 वर्ष पूर्व 3000 वर्ष पूर्व भारत के महान कवि कणियन पुंगुंड्रनार, उन्होंने विश्व की प्राचीनतम भाषा तमिल में कहा था, यादम उरे यावरुम केडीर, यानी हम सभी स्थानों के लिए अपनेपन का भाव रखते हैं और सभी लोग हमारे अपने हैं। और ये 3000 साल पहले की बात कर रहा हूं। देश की सीमाओं से परे अपनत्व की यही भावना भारत भूमि की विशेषता है। भारत ने बीते 5 वर्षों में सदियों से चली आ रही विश्व बंधुत्व और विश्व कल्याण की उस महान परंपरा को मजबूत करने का काम किया है।
Now, this is the only first line. Pungundranar has written
Ladies and gentlemen,
several
I am indeed
poems. This is one of the poems which is the 192nd verse. And what I thought I would do is, instead of looking at the first line, let us look at the poem, which is very short. I have a translation here. I would like to draw your attention to it. Look at the universal truth, very simple and profound truth emerges in just this poem alone. And there are several poems and several books by this author, Pungundranar. All the places on earth are our town. All the people are our relatives. All are evolved from common ancestors. Bad and good deeds do not come from other, comes from your thoughts and actions. Pain and relief are similar, as well as death is not new at all. Excited to be alive is same as sad for the death. So don't bother about life and death. Both are normal processes in the whole history. The mankind has gone through it again and again. And he says, he gives an allegory of when a water drops from the sky as clean and colorless water, as it hits the rocks and mud, the rainwater takes the color and quality of place where it falls, and also goes to the river and takes a different route and finally reaches the ocean. So he says our lives are also get shaped depending upon circumstances, where we are born, grow, and these facts have been realized and understood by the wise people. Hence, we shall not praise the privileged human beings, and we shall not shame the disadvantaged humans. He again brings out that equality among people, and which is very profound. So if some of you are interested, you should read other poems and translations are available. Now, let us look at Americans are learning these songs. And other, so I would encourage the people who are not Tamil speaking to get interested and okay. Now coming to the other classic, Tamil classic, which is Thirukkural, written by Thiruvalluvar, which our Prime Minister is very fond of quoting, and he has quoted this in a number of places. I have some examples here listed. In fact, Thirukkural or Thiruvalluvar has been quoted by Chidambaram in all his speeches, budget speeches when he was finance minister. But people don't notice that because Chidambaram is a Tamilian, and a Tamilian quoting a Tamil is was not taken as much as notice as now when Modi or somebody else from abroad quotes it. Now this Thirukkural is a text consisting about 1,330 short couplets of 7 words each. They are very short, very succinct, and just to the point, but revealing great truths. It also, you would find almost everything about life, religion, love, marriage, society, country, whatever you name, army, agriculture, everything you have. The Thirukkural has something to offer, and it's divided into 3 books or chapters, you can call it: virtue, aram, porul, and inbam, which refer to virtues or dharma, wealth, and love. Thirukkural offers guidance to people from all walks of life. Narendra Modi in his Twitter handle quotes, on a Thiruvalluvar's day, I bow to Venerable Thiruvalluvar on Thiruvalluvar Day. His thoughts and work reflect the immense knowledge as well as wisdom. He was blessed with people across generations have been positively impacted by him. I urge upon youngsters across India to read the Quran. Now, at different occasions, Modi, when he starts, let us say, the Atmanirbhar Abhiyan, he quotes Thirukkural. He quotes, if there is water day, he quotes, he goes and meets Prime Minister on his visit to Ladakh, surprise visit, an army camp, quotes the couplet from Thirukkural, which says, what are the requirements, 5 important qualities of a good army? That is tradition, credibility of valor, honor, dignified behavior. These 4 qualities are the reflections of the army of any country. And Indian forces have always followed this path. When he talks of Jal, so this is Bharat Jal Mission, he quotes Thirukkural, saying that if there is no water, there will be nothing left in the world. So Neer Indri Amayadu, that is what he says, and then he goes to Thailand and he talks about all the wealth acquired with perseverance by the worthies, the exercise of benevolence. Now, the word, I wanted to draw your attention, Dr. Singh, not many people talk about it. The word for benevolence he used here is, which I have kept in bold in Tamil, which is called Velanmai. And incidentally, Velanmai is the word which is also used for agriculture. So most of the agriculture industry, you will say Velanmai. So Velanmai is agriculture, which in other words in Tamil also means benevolence, upkar keh sakte hain aap usko. So that's the significance of agriculture. I just wanted to point out to Dr. Singh here and to others. Nirmala Sitharaman, she's a Tamilian. She has been quoting this, and also when she wants to increase the tax, I propose a new tax. She quotes Thiruvalluvar says a king ruler is the one who creates and acquires wealth. So they want to acquire wealth and protect and distribute it for common good. Also, Thiruvalluvar's widely hailed selection of couplet Thirukural, she quotes health. These are the 5 important characters of a good nation, what they call as ornaments of a country: health, good health of citizen, wealth, production, productivity, happiness, and security. These 5 in a country are its ornaments of beauty. So as you see that Thirukural has been rightly quoted by others, and particularly when somebody in the seat of power quotes it, then people get attracted. Incidentally, when Modi went to Thailand, he also released a version of Thirukural in Thai language. The other poet who has been widely quoted and whose birthday we are celebrating today in the form of Bhartiya Bhasha Divas, a writer, poet, journalist, Indian independence activist, social reformer, a true nationalist to the core. And people have his idea of one country. He also talks about being proud Tamilian, but he's also a proud Indian. And that's the character one would like to see in all the citizens of this country, maintaining their diversity, but united in all efforts. Now, here is where Prime Minister Vajpayee quotes Bhartiya about the notion of one India.
Has taken note of our resolve to restore the balance of resources in favor of states. We have all that the center cannot be strong if the states are weak.
Is the volume
over our advocacy of one nation, one people, culture? I am happy that he shares our perception of one nation.
Is it audible?
But I must say that he has got it all wrong.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Of one people and one culture. I categorically state here that BJP does not stand for uniformity. We recognize the celebrated India's plural, multi-religious, multilingual, and multi-ethnic character. This view is best reflected in a poem by one of India's greatest poets, Subramanya Bharati. That poem is entitled Entai, or My Mother. Bharati says, I would like to read in Tamil. Muppadu Kodi Muyamuyaral Uir Mohipuram Andra Deyal Ivar Chappumoji Padinet Deyal Anil Chindanai Andra Deyal. इसका मैं हिंदी में अनुवाद कर दूं. Thank you. This is not for the first time. I read something in Tamil in my address to the United Nations. इसका हिंदी अनुवाद इस प्रकार है. 30 कोटि, उस समय देश की आबादी 30 करोड़ थी. 30 कोटि मुखमंडल वाली है मेरी मां. एक है उसकी काया और आत्मा. भाषाएं वो 18 बोलती है, किंतु एक है उसका चिंतन. throw, has taken note.
Now, Modi ji has also found of Bharati. He has quoted Bharati. I'm not playing the video. I'm just saying when he Atmanirbhar Bharat, he quoted Bharati in a song entitled Bharat Desham. The poet dreams of an industrialized and developed India, and he says we should make weapons. Let us make paper. So he says Ayudam Shaivom. Kaidam Shaivom, Kaidam is paper. Let us build schools, establish factories. Essentially, all the poet wants is to be a self-reliant India.
Mahakavi.
I selected a small poem which is very popular in Tamil Nadu, which he has written for a child, which says Odi Vilayadu Papa. Papa is used for a girl child in Tamil. So he says, Odi Vilayadu Papa, that is run and play my little child. And look at what all he says in these 16 couplets. He says, never be idle, O child, join and move with all the children. Don't be alone or isolated, my child, and never abuse or scold other child. Like a small bird, play around here and there. Look at all the birds, enjoy. Then he, look at this, he talks about hen, crow, have sympathy to them, cow, dogs. He says the dog that comes around with his wagging tail is great friend of you, my child. Look at this, he talks of horse, paddy crops, what all. Then he says, get up in the morning, study, prayers through music, melodious, play in the evening. So he says, this you should practice every day. Study, play, enjoy. Lies never indulge in my child. So don't speak, don't tell a lie, never speak bad about anybody. Those who do harm to us, we need never fear. Be bold, trash them. He says, idleness is very bad. Don't disobey your parents or mother. Peevish weeping lames the child's child, stand firm. Look at this. He says, praise the Tamil or the Tamil Nadu. The language is so sweet. He talks about the Tamil language and he says, ancient sacred land is ours. The language of Tamil is sweet. And on the same hand, he also says in the north, Himalaya, my child, stands. There is Cape Comorin in the east. So he talks of an India, so land of Vedas. He says, be proud of that. And he uses the word Hindustan in his poem in Tamil. Adore and praise. So he talks of Tamil Nadu as well as the India. And then he says, no caste and subcaste is sin to talk in terms of caste, good and bad. Justice, great intellect, education and love. Who have are indeed great and lofty. So look at this profound fact of importance. He tells the child so that they imbibe it from the young age. Now you would notice that I have marked one of these here in red, and the earlier one, the beginning of this, I will just like to play. And these have been composed. And this is where that there are no castes and discrimination against another human being is a sin. Now Now I will come to enough of Tamil. Now I come to another language, Sanskrit. Now India is really blessed in the sense that two of the most ancient languages of the world, namely Tamil, more than 4,500 years old, and Sanskrit, 3,500-year-old, both originated in India. And also India can rightfully boast that two of the relatively recent languages have also developed in India, namely Urdu and Hindi. And one of the, as I said, the oldest epics in Sanskrit, Valmiki Ramayana, has been so popular. You remember I had said what all attracts people. Now here is a story and a poem which has attracted not only subsequent writers in Sanskrit. So more than 70 Sanskrit drama based on Ramayana were written between 3rd and 16th century in Sanskrit. Besides this, there are other versions of Ramayana called Adhyatma Ramayana, Anand Ramayana, Adbhut Ramayana, and so on and so forth. So this is in Sanskrit. Now look at in Maithili, in Konkani, in Gujarati, in Kashmiri, Kannada, Malayalam, Marathi, Odia, Awadhi, you name a language, there is, including Persian and Urdu, a version of Ramayana exists. What makes people to translate an epic? Obviously the story, the moral values. So people have been attracted by the story and it has widely spread. So here is another thread which joins our country: unity in diversity. Not only this, Ramayana has spread internationally. For example, in Cambodia, they have their own version, Thailand, Laos, Myanmar, Malaysia, Java, Indonesia, Philippines. So in Sanskrit, the epics and things which have been created, or thoughts, literature which have been created, have found widespread applications. And these have been translated time and again into various languages. For example, Klaus Martin Schwab, the founder and executive chairperson of WEF, in 2018 quotes a famous saying from Sanskrit called Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which again means the whole world is one family. And I think here this is Anand Mahindra quoting. He attended that meeting and he says, while introducing Klaus Schwab, praised India's philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. His pronunciation of the praise wasn't perfect, but he made a brave attempt. He's right. That philosophy of ours is what makes us stand out in a fractured world. Then the Upanishads, which are present in Veda, they hold important messages for the whole world. The Upanishads are the great mine of strength and invigorate the whole world. This is a quote from Vivekananda, can be vivified, made strong, energized through them. And these literatures are so vast, the Vedas, including the Ayurveda, which has information about health, benefits and health. It's about science, health science. I cannot do justice to any one of them. So what I have done is I have selected a few which are very widely quoted and very small couplets or a phrase which carry important meanings. For example, one which has come from Rigveda, which number of people quote, Ano Bhadra Ritava Hyantu Vishwata, which says that let noble thoughts come to me from all sides. What can be more profound than this? That we are welcoming all kinds of stuff. I mean, we don't stop any kind of thought and we assimilate all of them. Then one which says, Asatoma Sadgamay, Tamasoma Jyotirgamay, Mrityorma Amritam Gamay. That is, lead me from untruth to truth, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. The other, which is also finds part in IARA PG School's invocation, is a Shanti mantra from Taittiriya Upanishad. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karva Vahi Tejasvina Vadhitamastu Ma Vidvisha Vahi. Now, these Shanti mantra is so profound. Sanskrit uses dvivachan. When we say saha, that means we are talking of two. Sahana vavatu, so teacher and taught. So the prayer is, let both be protected, teacher and taught. Sahanavu bhunaktu. Now, both of us, bhunaktu is to eat or enjoy. So what do we enjoy? The purpose for which we are here, to study. So in an educational institution, the teacher and taught, it says, let both of us be protected. Let both of us enjoy what we are doing, the teacher teaching and the student learning, and vice versa. And sahaviryam karvavahi, may we both work towards it, strive towards it. Sahaviryam karvavahi, both of us work towards it. And what do we do? What is the result of it? Tejasvina vadhitamastu. May both of us achieve brilliance through this. Ma vidvishavahi. This is a word, phrase which is very significant. Without any rancor or ill will. Generally, you would notice that this is common with all PhD students or MSc students and their teacher. At the later part of the studies, the student always gets, ye tumse bahut zyada kaam karwa rahe hain, ye kaha, wo kaha. So there is a kind of ill will, or there is an ill will during the publication, authorship. So which is very common in all educational institutions. So it says, ma vidvishavahi, without any rancor. So what could be a better Shanti mantra than this for any educational institution? Other, which is very common, which almost everybody's cites, which talks about the well-being of everybody. In this prayer, we are not asking for peace for me or health for me or prosperity for me. It says, may all sentient beings be at peace. Om sarve bhavantu sukhina. May all be well. May all enjoy. Sarve santu niramaya. May all be healthy. May not suffer from illness. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. May we all see auspicious things, good things. Ma kashchit dukh bhag bhaved. With nobody suffering. Om shanti shanti shanti. Can you think of anything better than this for the whole world? So that's the beauty of it. This is just example. Now, these are some quotations about literature in Sanskrit by leading philosophers and in the world. For example, Arthur Schopenhauer, a German philosopher and writer, says there is no religion or philosophy so sublime and elevating as Vedanta. It has been the solace of my life. It will be the solace of my death. Lord Warren Hastings, who was the first Governor General in India, he says the writers of Indian philosophies will survive when the British Dominion India shall long have ceased to exist. Waldo Emerson, a historian of significance, he talks of Upanishad and say they haunt me. In them I have found eternal compensation, unfathomable power, unbroken peace, and so on and so forth. The Indian teaching, the East is grand, makes Europe appear the land of trifles. You can find Mark Twain quoting about India. Will Durant, an American historian, many of you would have known about him. He says that perhaps in return for conquest, arrogance, and spoliation, India will teach us the tolerance and gentleness of the mature mind, the quiet content of the unacquisitive soul, the calm of the understanding spirit, and a unifying, pacifying love for all living things. Wilhelm von Humboldt, you might have heard of him, German educationist, a brilliant. There is a Humboldt Fellowship named after him by Germany. The most beautiful, perhaps the only true philosophical song existing in any known tongue, perhaps the deepest and loftiest thing in the loftiest to show. This is talking of Bhagavad Gita. So, and those of you who are interested can look at, there is a site by Speaking Tree. I have given a link here. And there are n number of other leading educationists, historian, philosopher, scientist, and their quotes on Upanishads, Gita, Vedanta, and so on and so forth. I would stop here because now here I just selected this Nirmala Sitharaman in her budget speech also recited a poem in Pashto, in Kashmiri, and she also translated in Hindi. The poem is "Our country is like," or it in Hindi it says, कहाँ है हमारा वतन खिलते हुए शालीमार बाग जैसा, हमारा वतन डल लेक में खिलते हुए कमल जैसा, नौजवानों के गरम खून जैसा मेरा वतन, तेरा वतन, हमारा वतन, दुनिया का सबसे प्यारा वतन. So a Tamilian quoting a Pashto. Manmohan Singh has been quoting different shairis in his budget speeches again and again. One of them is famous sher by Iqbal, यूनान मिश्र रोमा सब मिट गए जहां से अब तक मगर है बाकी नामो निशा हमारा. The other he quotes is, ये जब्र भी देखा है दुनिया की नजरों ने, लम्हों ने खता की थी सदियों ने सजा पाई. The meanings are given here. Now he had quoted something else. He had changed this word zabr to manzar, but that's besides the point. Okay, so I would stop here and go to this has been quite heavy, I understand. So what I thought I would do is I have cited few examples, and as I said, the amount of literature in these two languages is enormous. You can't talk in 10 days or even a month on Tirukural alone. So the examples are not even equivalent to a billionth part of a drop from an ocean. So innumerable authors over the centuries, including the writers in the modern times, have made humongous contributions. And this is equally true for other languages. This does not mean that other languages have not made any contribution. Please, I want to make it clear. Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Marathi, Gujarati, Oriya, Assamese, Hindi, or Urdu. If you talk of Hindi alone, there have been so many poets, literatures. Not only that, Bangla literature is enormous. Again, not only I missed out Bangla here. Okay, so you please include Bangla also here. Bangla, and not only these, the art forms, for example, cinema. Who can think of Bangla without Satyajit Ray? His enormous contribution. So in variety of dimensions, each of these languages has made so much contribution. And it's physically not possible. I can only give a snapshot of what is all present, and that's again I feel it's very insufficient. So what I thought is, in the second part, which I thought, and in fact this has originated because I happened to give a talk at IRA auditorium, and where I introduced one of the languages, again Hindi, to Hindi speaking people. And some of them, though they speak Hindi, but they are not aware of the peculiarities of Hindi. And so I titled it Punah Parichay. So because most of the audience here is their mother tongue is Hindi. Very few are from other languages. Let me point out some of the peculiarities which a non-Hindi speaking person sees. And these peculiarities are very significant. Except Hindi and some parts of the languages on the West, majority of Indian languages do not have genders for nouns. That's a major difference. So whether you talk of Bangla, Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu, Kannada, Tamil, or Odia, or Northeastern, any place, they don't have the concept of gender. And that creates a problem. Hindi is complicated because of this, and there are some other complications. Let me talk to you about it. The one is ling, so this is gender, and this is the singular and plural. And then there is very peculiar word which Hindi uses. There are some other Indian languages which use Gujarati and Marathi, ne, and it creates complication in gender, in the formation of sentence. Then when two verbs join together in a sentence, there are peculiarities and some other. I have taken a part of the lecture which I had given earlier at IRA auditorium So it's only a small part of that. So let me tell you some of the important things. Is it okay, Dr. Singh? We have 15 more minutes.
Yes, please go ahead, Dr. Saab. Absolutely no problem.
Okay. So the most important thing about Hindi is that you should know the gender. सभी सारी संज्ञाओं का लिंग जानना आवश्यक है. Either it is pulling or striling, masculine or feminine. Without knowing that, you cannot write or speak proper Hindi, which is so the other language speaking, other people who are from India, who speak other language, their mother tongue, they find it very difficult. For example, आप कैसे हैं, आप कैसी हैं. Now, if you are addressing a male, you will say आप कैसे हैं. If you are addressing a female, you have to say आप कैसी हैं. राम कैसा है, सीता कैसी है. So if you know the gender of the person, then accordingly the word changes, verb changes. Sorry. And so if you have to say what is your name, आपका नाम क्या है. But if you want to ask his age, आपकी उम्र क्या है. Okay. But if you want to name something else, this would change. So it would depend on naam, umr. So naam, it is aapka. If it is umr, because this is feminine gender, you say aapki umr kya hai. Or then if you say mera naam Sita hai, even if Sita is a female, when she says my name is Sita, the first letter mera takes the gender of naam. She can say main Sita hu, but if she says my name is Sita, she has to say mera naam. Or if she has to say my age is this, she has to change the pronoun, the verb. Now, how do you know what is feminine, what is masculine? Who decides? Now, I have taken this from a book called Bhasha Vigyan Ki Bhumika by Devendranath Sharma. And he says there is nothing right or wrong or shuddha or ashuddha, kuch nahi. A majority of people is samudaya, what is accepted by it becomes the norm. So it's very difficult at any given time. The gender of a now, for example, let me give an example. Dahi in north of India, which is, let us say, west of India, particularly in western UP, Punjab and other Madhya Pradesh, it's striling. But if you go to east of India, it becomes pulling. For example, Hindi, and then not only this, the pronoun also changes form. The adjectives which you use for any specifying any noun also depends on the pronoun, and it's become very difficult. Sometimes it changes, sometimes it does not. I don't know how many of you recognize this small figure here. Can anybody guess what it is? It's a poster of a famous film, olden days. Bara Haath. Now, why do aankhein? There are only two. Aankh has changed to aankhein. There are 12 hands. In English, you will say hands, but in Hindi, you will say haath. But why haath has not changed to haathe or haatho? That's a question. So you find it very mera kela. My banana, mere kele. If I have more than one, I say mere kele, my bananas. Meri aankh, unki aankhein. Mere haath. Even the word no, if I say meri na, ya unki na, unki haan, this acquires a gender, na or haan. Meri saadiyan. If it is plural, again, I would come to it. Now, ka ke saath bhi with ye bhi change hota hai. Ram ka kurta, Ram ki kitab. Gita ki sari, Gita ka chehra. Now it depends on chehra hai Gita ka, but it is not Gita ki chehra, but it is Gita ka chehra, because now it depends on chehra. So these subtle differences for a non Hindi speaking person, let us say Bengal se jo aaya hai ya Karnataka se jo aaya hai, finds it difficult. Then color, for example, lal, safed. If I wear a red shirt or red pajama, it says lal pajama, lal kameez. But if I wear a yellow one, I have to change it. I have to say peeli kameez or peela pajama. These colors also change colors depending on the gender. So the other important, so this is one peculiarity. Now looking at some of these vibhakti, which are ne, ko, se, ke liye, these are used. Look at this. Ne is probably arguably one of the trickiest parts of Hindi and Urdu grammar, which is very unique in its sense. That pati ne patni ko mara, that is true. That is true. But agar the wife beats the pati, it should be patni ne pati ko mari, but it says patni ne pati ko mara. So why does it not change? Now ne makes it very difficult for people to understand what is happening. For example, Sita kitab पढ़ रही थी, ठीक है? Sita ने किताब पढ़ी, very good. Ram किताब पढ़ रहा था, and then you say Ram ने किताब पढ़ी. So for a person who is not, mother tongue is not Hindi, he finds it very difficult that Ram के साथ पढ़ी क्यों आया और सीता के साथ, अब जैसे सेकंड सेंटेंस आप देखें, सीता ने पानी क्यों पिया, उसने क्यों नहीं पी. So and then look at this, Ram ने सीता देखी, perfectly all right, but if I say Ram ने सीता को, if I add को, it becomes, so in these cases the verb has taken the gender of the subject. Ram ने किताब पढ़ी, kitab is feminine, so it becomes feminine. Ram, but it's not controlled, so the control of the verb goes to the subject rather the object rather than the subject. So in this case, if you use ko, the control is lost. Now this becomes more complicated with when you say the plurals of these. For example, usne film dekhi, usne filme dekhi. If he has seen more than one, then you have to change it to filme. But if ko, it becomes not filme but filmo. And for example, bhalu, the plural of bhalu is not bhalu, nothing else. It is bhalu. Then you have to say, if you have seen more than one, you say maine kai bhalu dekhe. But when you say maine bhaluon ko dekha, now I use bhaluon. That becomes much more complicated. That if there is no plural for it, but when I use ko, it becomes maine bhaluon ko dekha. These are some of the speciality of this language. You can call it, I would call it peculiarities. For example, if I say main Ramayan पढ़ रहा हूँ और महाभारत पढ़ रहा हूँ, or if a female is reading, she says महाभारत पढ़ रही हूँ, ठीक. Now आप में से किसने रामायण पढ़ा है, पढ़ी है? Now this is very subjective. If you consider Ramayana as a Mahakav, then it becomes masculine. But if you think of this as a book, then it becomes feminine, padhi hai. If you think of this as a kavya, Mahakavya, you say kisne Ramayana padha hai. So both are correct depending on what you mean. Same is true with Mahabharata. Now these are all dependent on what is this, a transitive word, an intransitive verb, and so on and so forth. And sometimes you use two verbs in a sentence. Accordingly, ne is the one which creates most of the confusion. For example, these are the words with which ne is not used. In some it is used. Ne is only used in past, not past continuous, but other forms of past. Is not used in present. Unfortunately, what has happened is Punjabis use different ne in almost all, even in present. Gujaratis have also used कि उन्होंने करना है, मैंने करना है, which is according to Hindi grammar and other, it's not permissible. So ne is only used in past, all for past perfect, but it is not used in past continuous. Except past continuous, it's used in all past. मैंने उसे माफ कर दिया. So अगर कर दिया तो it is pulling. मैंने उसे माफी दे दी और अपराधी को फांसी की सजा दी. फांसी की सजा का ऐलान कर दिया. राम ने, अब now look at this. राम ने आम खाया. Okay, it is depending on the gender of आम. राम ने आम खाकर. If he has this किताब पढ़ी, so it takes the gender of the last. If I say Ram ne kitab padhkar aam khaya, then it takes the last action, the subject which is used. Sorry, object which is used. Then the other peculiarity of Hindi is the word of ana, jana. For example, a jana. Now it is very, jana is go. So, or kha jana, baith jana, chale jana, late jana, aa gaya, chala gaya. So these are confusing. A is come, gaya is went. So we are using both together. This is peculiarity of Hindi and some other languages also. We use in Hindi lena and dena. जैसे मैंने किताब पढ़ ली. पढ़ने के साथ लेने का क्या है संबंध, ये यूनिक है. मैंने किताब पढ़ी, मैंने किताब पढ़ ली, मैंने किताब पढ़ दी. इट हैज अ डिफरेंट मीनिंग. देना भी है. कलम रख लो, कलम रख दो, खा लो, देख लो, भाग लो, भाग दो. So these are some of the unique features of Hindi, lena and dena. Another very unique word which is used in Hindi, which is also, I talked to Dr. Bandyopadhyay, Dr. Akshay, whether to is also used in Bangla and Assamese. They have a different form. In Marathi, I talked to Amol, said it's another word, tar is used, but not as widely as this. Now look at this. The word to in this sentence, that आज निदेशक महोदय ने डॉक्टर जैन को पत्र लिख दिया. And you say तो आज निदेशक महोदय ने डॉक्टर जैन को पत्र लिख दिया, the meaning changes. Now look at this. आज तो निदेशक महोदय ने डॉक्टर जैन को पत्र लिख दिया. आज निदेशक महोदय ने तो डॉक्टर जैन को पत्र लिख दिया. आज निदेशक महोदय ने डॉक्टर जैन को तो पत्र लिख दिया. पत्र तो लिख दिया. And the last one is आज निदेशक महोदय ने डॉक्टर जैन को पत्र लिख तो दिया. Each one has a different connotation based on where this word to, which is, if you translate in English, the equivalent is so, so. But look at the unique use of to in Hindi. There is another one called he. Now look at this. मैं तो आज भाषण दूंगा, या look at the position of to and the meaning changes. Or he, मैं ही आज भाषण दूंगा, मैं आज ही भाषण दूंगा. And you can also think of a combination of to and he. Look at what all you can produce. तो मैं ही आज भाषण दूंगा, तो मैं आज ही यहाँ भाषण दूंगा. And look at मैं ही आज तो यहाँ भाषण दूंगा, and so on and so forth. You can, so to and he you can combine and create variety of sentences, the variation which you create, and each one has a different connotation. So this is a very peculiar feature of Hindi. To is not as widely used as this in Bangla. It is used, but it is not as widely used. So I thought I would mention this to create some interest among people. Those who speak Hindi, they should be also aware of the unique nuances of Hindi, which they have learned, but they don't give a thought to this. And about the gender, about the use of ne and ko, where the gender of the verb changes, the adjectives which acquire different forms based on the gender, and the whether it is singular or plural, and so on and so forth. So I thought I would point out this. Now, finally, before I close, I have 3-4 more slides. And I thought I would talk about some points to ponder. To get a feel of other language, one should be proficient in at least one language, at least in your mother tongue or any other language. Then people talk about purity of language, that don't use हिंदी के साथ अंग्रेजी का या किसी और भाषा का प्रयोग न करो। मैं इसके लिए आपको एक वीडियो सुनवाना चाहता हूं।
बावर्ची ने नाश्ता दिया। नाश्ते में उड़द की दाल और टोस्ट थे। आदमी उठा, चिक हटाई, संदूक खोला, उसमें से पिस्तौल निकाला, दीवार पे लगी बंदूक निकाली और बाहर चला गया। बच्चा बेबस देखता रहा। इसमें कोई किसी को मुश्किल पड़ी? कोई मुश्किल तो नहीं ना? चलो इसे एनालाइज करते हैं। एक मकान इज अरेबिक, एक कमरे में कमरा इज इटालियन, एक आदमी अगेन अरेबिक, नन्हा गुजराती नन्नो, बच्चा पर्शियन, पाल्टी पुर्तगीज, बावर्ची टर्किश, उड़द तमिल, टोस्ट इंग्लिश, चिक टर्किश, संदूक टर्किश, पिस्तौल इंग्लिश पिस्टल, बंदूक टर्किश, दीवार पर्शियन, बेबस संस्कृत। तो ये वर्ड जो हम यूज कर रहे थे, इससे हम क्या कोई इंटरनेशनल लैंग्वेज बोलने लगे? नहीं, वही सिंटैक्स। तो नाउ लेट्स कम बैक टू उर्दू सिंटैक्स। उर्दू की सिंटैक्स क्या है और हिंदी की सिंटैक्स क्या है? खाना खाओगे, पानी पियोगे, घर जा रहे हो, कल आओगे, ये क्या है? ये उर्दू है कि हिंदी है?
Now here what he wants to make a point is that languages have always evolved and adopted words from different languages. So there is nothing like purity of a language. If the language has to develop, it acquires words from different languages. And as long as the syntax, if I say मेरे कमरे का air condition बंद है और मेरे कमरे में fan चल रहा है, am I speaking English or Hindi? Obviously Hindi. He says if as long as syntax decides the language, आपका उसमें किसी भी लिपि में लिखा हो, उर्दू की कोई गजल है, अगर if you have written it in Devanagari script or in Roman script, it still remains Urdu. So the syntax decides the language is important. Words keep on changing depending on the situation as the language develops. Some words acquire a different meaning altogether after some time, and so on and so forth. There are n number of examples. So one should not bother too much about the purity of a language. That's the point which he makes, and I agree to him. Then I would like to talk about the status of regional languages. A general disinterest among people, not only other languages, their own mother tongue. I would like to play a video which is in Bangla, but you can make the sense of it. Here is a mother. Here is a poem written by, what is his name? Majumdar. The mother is lamenting that my son, a Bengali, has no interest in Bangla. He does not know a good Bangla. Now, this is not only true of Bangla, but it is true for all other languages. Listen to this.
পয়লা বৈশাখ এখনই মনে হলো যে ভবানী প্রসাদ মজুমদার খুব সুন্দর করে লিখেছেন একটা ছড়া, খুব মজার। এটা ছেলে আমার খুব সিরিয়াস, কথায় কথায় হাসে না। জানেন দাদা, আমার ছেলের বাংলাটা ঠিক আসে না। ইংলিশেও রাইমস বলে, ডিবেট করে, পড়াও চলে। আমার ছেলে খুব পজিটিভ, অলিক শব্দে ভাসে না। জানেন দাদা, আমার ছেলের বাংলাটা ঠিক আসে না। ইংলিশ ওর গুলে খাওয়া, ওটাই ফার্স্ট ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ, হিন্দি সেকেন্ড। সত্যি বলছি, হিন্দিতে ওর দারুণ তেজ। কি লাভ বলুন বাংলা পড়ে, বিমান ছেড়ে ঠেলায় চড়ে। বেঙ্গলি থার্ড ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ, তাই তেমন ভালোবাসে না। জানেন দাদা, আমার ছেলের বাংলাটা ঠিক আসে না। বাংলা আমার ভাষা নাকি, নেই কোনো চার্ম বেঙ্গলিতে? সহজ সরল এই কথাটা লজ্জা কিসের মেনে নিতে? ইংলিশ ভেরি নাইস, হিন্দি সুইট সায়েন্টিফিক, বেঙ্গলি ইজ গ্ল্যামারলেস, ওর প্লেস এর পাশে নয়। জানেন দাদা, আমার ছেলের বাংলাটা ঠিক আসে না। বাংলা যেন কেমন কেমন, খুব দুর্বল প্যানপ্যানে, শুনলে বেশি গা জ্বলে যায়, একঘেয়ে আর ঘ্যান ঘ্যানে। কিসের গরব, কিসের আশা, আর চলে না বাংলা ভাষা। কবে যেন হয় বেঙ্গলি ডে? ফেব্রুয়ারি মাসে না? জানেন দাদা, আমার ছেলের বাংলাটা ঠিক আসে না। ইংলিশ ইজ বোকবাস্টিং, শব্দের ঠাসা দারুণ ভাষা। বেঙ্গলি ইজ ডিসগাস্টিং, ডিসগাস্টিং সর্বনাশা। ওই ভাষাতে দিবানিশি হয় শুধু ভাই পিএনপিসি। ওই ভাষা তাই হলেও দিশি তেমন ভালোবাসে না। জানেন দাদা, আমার ছেলের বাংলাটা ঠিক আসে না। বাংলা ভাষা নিয়ে নাকি অ্যাংলা প্যাংলা সবাই মুগ্ধ। বাংলা যাদের মাতৃভাষা, বাংলা যাদের মাতৃদুগ্ধ। মায়ের দুধের বড়ই অভাব, কৌটোর দুধ খাওয়াই স্বভাব। ওই দুধে তেজ তাকত হয় না, তাই বাংলাও আর হাসে না। জানেন দাদা, আমার ছেলের বাংলাটা ঠিক আসে না।
Now, look at this. This is mother lamenting, and it is true for all languages. It's not only true for Bangla, but other languages also. People have lost interest in their own mother tongue. I have been interacting with students when I was at IRA, and I would find people Hindi's mother tongue, they have not heard of any literature, or from Bengal, coming from the land of Bengal, where there is the literature is so vast. Everybody knows about Ravi Thakur or Gurudev Ravindranath, Sharat Chand, Bankim Chand, you name it, Bimal Mitra. The list is endless. I can go on and on. But people have not heard or not read. So somehow we have to create an interest. That's what I said. One should be proficient in at least one language, at least in mother tongue. They should know what's there, kya hai unke paas. So it's not only sufficient to know dusron ke paas kya hai, they should also know what they have. Then there is another thing. People talk about my language is the best. Being proud of one's mother tongue is right, and people have been rightly proud, and I fully agree with that. For example, Subramanya Bharti, who knew several languages, he says, among all the languages we know, we do not see anywhere any as sweet as Tamil. That's Bharati saying it. But that does not mean he's being proud of it, but does not say that there has Bangla, for example, here it says our Bangla, our pride, our home. And then this is Suresh Bhatt talking about Marathi. Each one is proud. Recent years, about 2 years back, there was a rumor floating in social media about Bangla has been declared by the sweetest language in the world by UNO. Of course, UNO has nothing to do with it. But what I'm trying to say, and there were people who were saying, I'm so proud that it is the best in the world, and so on. So there is nothing like best in the world. Any language, whether it is recent or old, is great. So this is something like my mother is the best in the world. That's no, each one's mother is the best. And if you know the other's mother, you will also appreciate her. So my idea is, through this talk, is to create among people, not only students. Somebody said it's a occasion to create interest in students. If you read the proposal, it says to create interest in the faculty and the students and also the parents in other languages. So and as I would say that the only solution to this is you can learn a language or find interesting things about it only if you are inquisitive, curious, and interested. The others are secondary. Whether somebody else says that this is important, of course it points out, it gives you that there is something to be looked for, but that is not only if somebody says, and if you are not interested, nothing will happen. So if Modi or Kalam says Yadu Mure Yavurum Keli, that's the only one phrase. But look at the one song, which is 192 in the series, and there are more songs, more books. So each one is unique, and there is so much of wealth of information in one song alone what to talk about several authors, several books spread across. So the ocean is really vast. What I have not been, as I said, I have not been able to even show you 1 billionth part of a drop. I have only pointed out to the presence of this wonderful world which exists. India is blessed in the sense that we have so many languages, so much diversity, and each diversity creates a novelty. And if we are curious and interested, we'll certainly look for it. And I wish and hope we will all do that. And I would like to thank Dr. Girjesh Singh Mahara and Dr. Rajeshri Roy Burman for assembling these presentations. I have been troubling Burman Sahab for the last 2-3 days about how to organize and play these. And thanks a lot, Burman Moshai. Thank you, one and all, in different Indian languages, whatever is your mother tongue. Shukriya, dhanyavad, dhanyavadagulu, dhanyavada, nandri, nandi, chugachari, and so on. So, thank you.
थैंक यू सर। अगर मैं कहूं कि आज के इस अवसर पर भारतीय भाषाओं का अद्भुत संसार से बेहतर कोई प्रसंग नहीं हो सकता था, साथ ही डॉक्टर श्रीनिवासन सर से बेहतर कोई वक्ता भी नहीं हो सकता था, तो ये कोई अतिशयोक्ति नहीं होगी। सर, द वे यू इंटीग्रेटेड योर नॉलेज अबाउट द डिफरेंट लैंग्वेजेस वाज अनपैरेलल्ड। अगेन आई थैंक यू वेरी मच सर। अब मैं डॉक्टर ए.के. सिंह सर से अनुरोध करूंगा कि वे डॉक्टर श्रीनिवासन सर द्वारा दी गई इस उत्कृष्ट विवेचना पे अपने विचार प्रस्तुत करें। सर,
ये तो बहुत कठिन कार्य है ज्ञान, ये हमारे बस का नहीं है। गुरुदेव के ऊपर जो है टिप्पणी करना हमारे बस का नहीं है। मैं सिर्फ ये कहूंगा कि हम लोगों ने इस पूरे व्याख्यान का आनंद उठाया। इसको आपने वीडियो रिकॉर्ड किया हुआ है, इसे IRI की साइट पे भी डालिएगा ताकि बाकी हमारे साथी जो इस अवसर का लाभ नहीं उठा पाए वो लोग भी सुने और समझें कि भारतीय भाषाओं में कितनी विविधता है। पहली बात, हर भाषा के अंदर कितनी विविधता है, और इसके बाद जो उदाहरण डॉक्टर श्रीनिवासन ने तमिल भाषा से और विभिन्न ग्रंथों से लेकर के हम लोगों के सामने रखा, उसी तरह की विविधता जैसा कि उन्होंने बताया बाकी सारी भाषाओं में है, उसे हमें सीखने की, जानने की जरूरत है। और इसके लिए किसी एक भाषा में आपकी विशेषता होनी जरूरी है। अब आमतौर पे देखते होंगे कि मोदी जी का कई उदाहरण डॉक्टर साहब ने दिया, और जब भी वो जाते हैं अपने क्षेत्रीय कार्यक्रमों में, रैलियों में, तो अपने पहले सेंटेंस की शुरुआत जहां पे वो रैली कर रहे होते हैं वहां की भाषा में ही करते हैं। उससे एकाएक सब लोग उनके साथ जुड़ जाते हैं, सबका ध्यान उनकी तरफ आकर्षित हो जाता है। तो ये भाषा की जो है अपनी अभिव्यक्ति, भावना की अभिव्यक्ति भाषा के द्वारा की जाती है, और भाषा का बहुत महत्वपूर्ण स्थान है आपसी संबंधों को बनाए रखने के लिए। इसका अनुभव मुझे खुद का है। जब मैं 1986, 87, 88 3 साल तमिलनाडु आडुतुराई अपने राइस रिसर्च स्टेशन में जाता था, और वहाँ पे अनुसंधान कार्य के लिए जाते थे, और अक्सर जो फील्ड में काम करने वाले लोग होते थे उनके साथ इंटरेक्शन करना होता था। ज्यादा काम डेटा लेने का काउंटिंग से संबंधित होता था। तो सबसे पहले जो है मैंने यही कोशिश की कि हमें खुद जो है कुछ बेसिक जो काउंटिंग है वो हम सीखें। तो फिर मैंने जो है उसमें ये जितने हैं और रेंडु मूड नाल अंज आरु एलु एट्टू वनवधु पत्तु, ये सब सारे शब्द हमने सीखे एक तरफ से जो है, और उसको 100 तक गिनती हमने तमिल में सीखी। और जब वो टिलर नंबर काउंट करते थे, नंबर ऑफ ग्रेन्स पर पेंसिल काउंट करते थे, तो क्या बता रहे हैं हमको, क्या लिखना है, जब तक हम नहीं समझेंगे तो क्या लिखेंगे। उसी तरह से बाजार में जाते थे, खाना चूंकि खुद बनाते थे, तो सब्जियों के नाम, विभिन्न सब्जियों के नाम, उनको भी जो है, जैसे नुक्कल है, वारेपरम है, कत्तोमली है, विगायम है, तकाली है, कत्रिकाय, विड्डिकाय, ये सब सारा उरलाई ये सीखे। तो जब आप, जैसा कि डॉक्टर श्रीनिवासन ने बताया कि कई एक बार आपको इसकी महत्ता का तब पता चलता है जब कोई दूसरा व्यक्ति उसको आपके सामने बोलता है। तो जब ये शब्द हम जाकर के बाजार में बोलते थे, जो लोग नहीं जानते थे, तो आडुतुराई अच्छा खासा बाजार है, और वहां पे सब लोग जानने लगे थे हमको। जो जब मैं जाता था तो हर आदमी जो है पहचानने लगा था। खाना खाते जाते थे उसमें, कैंटीन में या दुकान पे सामान लेने जाते थे। तो ये भाषा का जो है पावर होता है। और जितना अच्छा व्याख्यान डॉक्टर श्रीनिवासन ने दिया वो अपने आप में काबिले तारीफ है। बहुत सारी चीजें हम लोगों के इर्द गिर्द अगल बगल होती रहती हैं, लेकिन जैसे हिंदी के की जो व्याख्या उन्होंने भाषा में क्या क्या जटिलताएं हैं उसको उन्होंने समझाया। और इस तरह का अनुभव मैं अक्सर करता हूं। जब मैं हिंदी में गोपाल से बात करता हूं तो गोपाल के द्वारा अक्सर ये बातें होती हैं कि का, आए गए, आई गई, इसमें जो है हमेशा कुछ न कुछ जो है अंतर आता है। और वो बहुत स्वाभाविक है, क्योंकि जो लोग इस भाषा को समझते हैं और जितनी विस्तार में इन्होंने उसका विवरण दिया, हम लोग कभी इसके बारे में नहीं सोचते। तो ये बहुत जरूरी है कि हमारे इर्द गिर्द क्या हो रहा है उसको हम अच्छी तरह से सोचे समझें। मैं डॉक्टर साहब को बहुत हार्दिक धन्यवाद करता हूँ।
डॉक्टर साहब, एक मेरा सुझाव था कि हर एक भाषा पर एक एक इस तरह का भाषण आप कराएं। जैसे जो बांग्ला और हिंदी दोनों ही जानते हो उसका एक, मलयालम, कन्नड़, क्योंकि हर एक भाषा में अपार लिटरेचर है। इफ यू थिंक ऑफ मराठी, विजय तेंदुलकर हो, चाहे फुलादेश पांडे हो, या कन्नड़ा में देख लीजिए करंत हो, बेनेगल हो या भैरप्पा हो, तो हमें एक फ्लेवर मिलेगा कि क्या है, क्या विविधता है हमारे भाषाओं में। जैसे मैंने बंगाली में तो भरा हुआ है, सारी भाषाओं में। तो एक भाषा का अगर कराएं, क्योंकि संभव नहीं है कि मैं वो जो विविधता है उसका थोड़ा सा भी दिखा पाऊं आधे घंटे में या 1 घंटे में। तो एक एक भाषा वो तभी नहीं हो सकता, बट एटलीस्ट सम पीपल हु आर इंटरेस्टेड विल गेट अ फ्लेवर ऑफ इट।
इसकी एक श्रृंखला हम लोग शुरू करेंगे और इसको निश्चित रूप से हम करेंगे। और इसका थोड़ा सा और प्रचार प्रसार करने की आवश्यकता है, क्योंकि आज जो है, अब देखिए हम लोग करीब 500 के आसपास वैज्ञानिक हैं, सिर्फ 78 लोग जुड़े हुए हैं। ये संख्या है
सर, रविवार का दिन है सर।
हाँ, घर पे हैं लोग, जुड़ना चाहिए, सारे छात्रों को जुड़ना चाहिए।
हाँ,
मैं डॉक्टर साहब का बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ। आपने समय निकाला और कितना मेहनत आपने इस लेक्चर के लिए किया होगा। मुश्किल से आपको हमारे तरफ से 3-4 दिन का समय
तीन दिन मिले।
3 दिन का समय मिला और उसके अंदर इतना सारा लिटरेचर ढूंढ करके उसको जो है अरेंज करना और उसको प्रस्तुतिकरण करना, ये बहुत ही काबिल तारीफ है। मैं आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूँ। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
धन्यवाद।
Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite Dr. Anil Surohi, sir, MHR IRA, for his word of thanks.
Thank you, Gyan. And very big thanks to Dr. Srinivasan and Director IRI, Dean, for supporting my choice for the speaker. I had requested Dr. Srinivasan personally. पहले तो जैसे उन्होंने start किया presentation, क्यों, why, मैं क्या बोलूँगा? I think इतने बोलने के बाद अब सबको समझ आ गया होगा कि क्या बोल सकते हैं और कितना और बोल सकते हैं. He is an amazing person with a, I don't know, unlimited knowledge. And इनके जो interests हैं इतने vivid हैं, जैसे भारतीय भाषाएं हैं उसी हिसाब से इनके interest भी वैसे ही हैं. He enjoys companies of young, old, any, as our director said कि he is more a friend. और ऐसा ही कुछ हमारा भी relationship है, जब से हमसे बहुत बड़े हैं, लेकिन इतने इजी रखते हैं सबको कि आप पूछिए नहीं. ही इज वेरी वेरी फ्रेंडली. एंड इनके जो पर्सनल इंटरेस्ट है, चाहे आप इनसे बात कर लीजिए, डिबेट कर लीजिए, रिलीजन पे कर लीजिए, कल्चर पे कर लीजिए, लैंग्वेज पे कर लीजिए, साइंस में तो खैर ये किसी को हरा ही देते हैं. और being a not biology student, he was possibly one of the finest molecular biologists we had. बायोलॉजी प्योर बायोलॉजी से नहीं है एजुकेशन वाइज, लेकिन आप देखिए he can beat anybody. जेनेटिक्स, कितने लोग ब्रीडिंग में भी इनसे इंफॉर्मेशन लेते हैं. आई थिंक डॉक्टर अशोक सिंह हमारे साथ एग्री करेंगे. सो इतनी प्लेजर रहता है इनके साथ हमेशा बात करने का, सोचने का, एंड यू लर्न एवरी टाइम. दैट्स द ग्रैंड पार्ट ऑफ इट. एंड इट्स बीन अ फाइनेस्ट टीचर, आई थिंक वन ऑफ द फाइनेस्ट वी हैड इन आवर इंस्टीट्यूट. तो वो रहा. और सर, एक और इसी अवसर पर जो भारतीय भाषा उत्सव हम सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं आज, उसको देखते हुए हमने एक कोशिश की थी कि हम भी आइडेंटिफाई करें कुछ बच्चे जो मल्टीलिंगुअल हैं, जो अलग अलग भाषाएं जानते हैं, आपका तो खैर ठिकाना ही नहीं है। जो हमारे डायरेक्टर साहब ने बताई भाषा, उनको छोड़ के भी ये बंगाली में हैप्पीली बात कर सकते हैं, लिख सकते हैं, समझ सकते हैं, आसामी समझते हैं, और उर्दू भी जानते थे, बट शायद अब कहते हैं थोड़ा स्क्रिप्ट अब भूल गया हूँ, अदरवाइज उर्दू के माहिर भी थे। और एक इंसिडेंट मैं बताऊं, हम एक ट्रेवल ग्रुप है, उसमें डॉक्टर श्रीनिवासन भी हैं, डॉक्टर भट्ट हैं, और भी कई लोग हैं। हम अमृतसर गए कुलचे खाने के लिए, और वहाँ अमृतसर यूनिवर्सिटी में ठहरे थे। तो सुबह अक्सर हमारी वॉक की आदत है, तो साथ ही घूम रहे थे, तो वहाँ सब गुरुमुखी में लिखा हुआ है, या इंग्लिश में है या गुरुमुखी में है। और बस थोड़ी देर वॉक करने के बाद ही वॉज एबल टू रीड गुरुमुखी एंड टेल अस कि क्या लिखा हुआ है, क्या मीनिंग है। सो दैट्स द एबिलिटी, वो इतना आसपास देख के पिकअप करते हैं, पूछे नहीं। और जब यहाँ पिछली बार थे तो शायद जर्मन सीख रहे थे यूजिंग इंटरनेट। सो उनके जो इंटरेस्ट है वो गजब है। तो इसी को देखते हुए सर हमने यहाँ भी स्टूडेंट्स के लिए एक रखा था कि जो कम से कम 5 लैंग्वेज जानते हैं तो उनको हम ऑनर करेंगे, या उनको बेसिकली कहीं ना कहीं प्रोत्साहित करने के लिए सम्मानित किया जाएगा। और 3 एंट्रीज हमारे पास आई जो करीब 5 लैंग्वेजेस सब जानते हैं, लिख सकते हैं, पढ़ सकते हैं। और ये भी आप फोटो भी देख रहे हैं 2 बच्चों का, तो इसमें से ये लैंग्वेजेस जानते हैं इंग्लिश, तमिल, हिंदी, मलयालम, स्पेनिश। दिस इज अरोकिया अनुस्थी फ्रॉम सॉइल वाटर साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी। एक मिस्टर प्रेम कुमार हैं सॉइल साइंस एंड एग्रीकल्चर केमिस्ट्री से, ये इंग्लिश, तमिल, हिंदी, मलयालम, गुजराती जानते हैं। और सुदीप अधिकारी हैं जो हिंदी, तमिल, मलयालम, नेपाली और बंगाली जानते हैं। सो हमारे स्टूडेंट्स में भी बहुत भारी टैलेंट है, बहुत बड़ा टैलेंट है। और भी लोग होंगे लेकिन वो थोड़ा नहीं जुड़ पाए, हो सकता है अगले भाषा दिवस में और लोग हम पहचान पाएंगे। और ये एक एक्टिविटी रही थी। इसके अलावा एक एक्टिविटी,
ये छात्र जुड़े हुए हैं हमसे आज,
होपफुली होना तो चाहिए सर।
इन छात्रों से भी एक भाषण कराया जा सकता है।
हाँ,
अच्छा
करेंगे सर।
कॉम्बिनेशन है, मैं तमिल सब में कॉमन देख रहा हूँ।
हाँ, मैं ये ऑब्जर्व कर रहा था कि आपने कुछ ऐसा इन्फेक्शन छोड़ दिया है कि तमिल हर जगह है।
नहीं, आई वांट टू नो कि इनमें से कौन है जिसकी मातृभाषा तमिल है।
आई थिंक अरोकिया अनुस्थी इज तमिल।
प्रेम कुमार इज आल्सो तमिल।
Yes, sir. Me and Anushti ma'am both are Tamils.
Yeah, Tamil. Yeah.
Okay. And what about Sandeep Adhikari? He is Bengali.
Sudeep, I don't know. Is Sudeep there?
Nepali.
He's Nepali. He's Nepali from
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So these students should be asked to talk about how did they create a Nepali understanding Tamil, Malayalam, Bengali, and a Tamil understanding Spanish, Gujarati is really commendable. Congratulations to all.
Really, they deserve big congratulations. So we'll have a function, sir. We will honor them in a special function.
Sure.
So I thought, let's project them also today itself, because this is part of the celebrations for this language Utsav of India. और इसके अलावा एक और प्रयास किया गया था, माई सिग्नेचर माई प्राइड। और ये हमने हॉस्टल पे लगाया था, बिकॉज हमारे पास वैरायटी ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स हैं जिनके बैकग्राउंड्स अलग हैं, सबको अपने मातृभाषा में साइन करने थे। तो आप देखिएगा फुल हो गया है एब्सोल्युटली। सो दैट्स द स्पिरिट ऑफ इंडिया, यूनिटी इन डाइवर्सिटी। आई थिंक इससे बेहतर पोस्टर इस चीज के लिए नहीं हो सकता था। तो ये कुछ इवेंट्स थे हमारे, इनके साथ मैं थैंक्स करता हूँ आपको स्पेशली फॉर एक्सेप्टिंग आवर इन्विटेशन। तो थैंक यू सो मच एंड थैंक यू ऑडियंस फॉर बीइंग विद अस।
थैंक यू।
हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि इस तरह की पहल सिर्फ देश के छात्रों में ही नहीं बल्कि सभी नागरिकों में भी भारतीय भाषाओं के प्रति एक गौरव भाव जागृत करेगी। सो विद दिस कैन वी सर नाउ कंक्लूड दिस प्रोग्राम?
या सुधीर जी कुछ कहना है आपको?
नमस्कार सर, नमस्कार। बहुत अच्छा प्रोग्राम रहा ये तो साहब। सभी भाषाओं का ज्ञान जो है अर्जन करने के लिए आवश्यक है कि जब ही ज्ञान पूरा होता है सभी भाषाओं को, जैसे हम भी 2-3 भाषाओं को जानते हैं, हिंदी को, अंग्रेजी को और ब्रज भाषा को, तो उससे जो है, और अपनी देहात की भाषा को, उससे क्या होता है कि जो हमारे किसान हैं उनकी भाषा समझ के हम उसको आप तक पहुंचा देते हैं।
धन्यवाद सुधीर जी। रसखान, सूर और कई कवि हैं ब्रज के, रसखान प्रमुख।
ठीक है फिर, थैंक यू ऑल वेरी मच, थैंक यू रक्षा, थैंक्स अ लॉट।